Just a reminder that if a fat person is talking about fat shaming and how it's not okay and how people shouldn't do it, and your only response is, well, it goes both ways. Skinny shaming's a problem too. Newsflash for you, you're not helping and you're being fatphobic. You're silencing fat bodies and you're making it about yourself. Everybody knows that skinny shaming happens, okay? But the thing is that people not always know that fat shaming happens or that fat shaming can follow through and become discrimination and fat oppression. And saying to a fat person when they're talking about their own experience, and all you have to say is, but it goes both ways. Skinny shaming's a problem too. You are taking their voice away, you are talking over them, and you are silencing them. It's not okay, and you become part of the problem when you do that. So next time, just listen and then make your own goddamn video.
And here I am, making my own goddamn video. Thanks for the unsolicited advice, Marissa. Here's the thing. I think most of the time when fat people are getting shut down or silenced, as you say, it isn't because the people doing it don't know that fat shaming exists, or that it hurts, or that people just don't sympathize with fat people. It's because you and your cohort of fat activists take things way too far and say things like, I'm oppressed for my size, even though you are not. Being body shamed sucks, but it isn't oppression. And if that makes me part of the problem, then so be it.
Going to include mention of calories, nutrition, and a brief reference to eating disorder behaviors, but this is all recovery focused. There will be no food judgments. This comment was left in a response to a video where I implied that calories on menus are fatphobic. And I've been getting a lot of these comments about how calories are there to help you make smarter choices for your health. I was referring specifically to Red Robin, so I'm going to use that as an example to try and debunk this myth. Just a disclaimer, I'm not a registered dietitian. This is just stuff that I learned in required nutrition groups to help us learn how to balance our nutritional needs. So let's get into it. Let's look at the nutritional information they do offer. On their website, it looks like additional nutrition information is available upon request. So if you're trying to decide ahead of time if Red Robin will meet your needs, or if you're ordering online, you're kind of screwed. I've also never tried to ask for the nutrition information in their store, so I don't know if they have it readily available there either. So the only readily available nutrition information about their food are the calories. I'm going to use one of their low-calorie meals as an example. This is a popular low-calorie choice. It's called the Veggie Burger. As you can see, it's a burger with lettuce, tomato, onion, and bacon, and it comes with a bottomless salad. Somebody might look at this, and because of the myths that diet culture perpetuates about health, they might see low calories, low carbs, and think it's a good option. I'm not trying to say it's a bad option. I'm saying for a lot of people, this might be misleading. The lettuce on the actual burger is iceberg lettuce, and in the salad, it's romaine. So carbohydrates are the body's chosen source of energy, and they help keep us full. Fiber is a kind of carbohydrate, and somebody looking at that meal might think, oh wow, lots of veggies, so there's gotta be fiber. When actually all of the veggies there are fairly low in fiber. There are tomatoes there, but there's not enough there to meet your fiber requirements. So what might happen is you might feel full at first, but binge later. It looks like there's lots of good protein and fat in terms of the bacon. But here's another reason why this is misleading. Somebody with heart issues might be thinking like, oh, I need to avoid food with fats and carbs. But what they don't realize is depending on what kind of salad dressing they choose, they might be ingesting a lot more sodium. Sodium is not inherently a bad thing, but if you're trying to manage a chronic illness, it can be. Same with sugars in salad dressing. Again, not a bad thing, but if you're a diabetic, it can be a problem. You might also be somebody trying to lose weight using the keto diet, which has been proven to be harmful for adults in the long run. However, this meal would be really good for a child who has chronic seizures. The keto diet was developed for kids with seizures. So what I'm saying is there's so much more that goes into food and nutrition than just calories. So if this is really about health, wouldn't all the nutritional information be readily available for every restaurant that has calories on its menu? Do they actually care about health? Or do you just care about being thin? Which, by the way, does not always mean health.
The basic argument this person is making is that there is more to nutritional health than calories. So if menus are only showing calories, then they're not really there for health reasons. They're there because of diet culture. But first of all, the site you referenced said that you can get more nutritional information in stores. So if you have dietary concerns, you could just call the restaurant. it's not that big of an inconvenience. It's not that they don't care about sharing all nutritional information. They mostly just don't want to put all nutritional information for every item on every menu because that takes up a bunch of space and most people won't look at it. And that is supported by the example you gave because you mentioned that some people care about sodium, some care about fiber, some care about carbs. Everyone has different nutritional focuses. But putting calories on a menu is a simple, macro-level piece of nutritional information that most people would find useful. And the very act of complaining that restaurant menus don't have enough nutritional information or too much nutritional information for your liking shows enormous privilege. If you have dietary concerns that are specific enough that you need to know them when you go to a restaurant, then don't eat at a restaurant. It's not a necessity by any means.
This is factually untrue. The body positivity movement was created in the 1960s by a group of fat Black women. I could definitely understand the argument that white people should not have co-opted the body positivity movement since it was created by Black women. I have a lot of thoughts and feelings on that. I absolutely acknowledge my privilege living in a white body, 100%. But when I'm speaking about body positivity, I am speaking on behalf of all marginalized bodies. I'm speaking to raise awareness about the way marginalized bodies are treated in our society, the way that fat women were not considered when the dosage for Plan B was being figured out. We were not considered when they're testing vehicles for safety. I could go on, but the bottom line is you're wrong.
I've said in other videos, I don't care who started the body positivity movement. If it was supposed to be for fat people and fat people alone, they should have come up with a better name. And the examples you gave of fat women not being included in Plan B or car safety is not you advocating for marginalized bodies. It is you advocating for fat people. And even if you want to consider fat people a marginalized group, how are you going to say that you're acknowledging your privilege in a movement that you admittedly said wasn't made for you, but only give examples of the way the body positivity movement can help you as a fat white woman? Maybe talk about the medical biases when it comes to Black women not receiving enough pain medication in the medical field, or how fat Black women are disproportionately affected by food deserts compared to their white counterparts. Your acknowledgement of your privilege is hollow when you only focus on the ways the movement can help you.
Welcome back to my new series, everybody. This is where I teach you about things that are fatphobic that you may not have known are fatphobic. So the third thing on the list has to do with silencing fat people. So if you see a fat person talking about their experience in their fat body, and your first reaction is to tell them to shut the fuck up, or to be quiet, because nobody cares, ring-a-ding-ding, that's fatphobia. Because telling a fat person to silence themselves because you're tired of hearing about them complain or advocate for their equal equality in our universe, yeah, that's fat phobia. So stop silencing fat people and then you can unlearn your fat phobia. Okay, thanks. Stay tuned for part 4.
There's a difference between telling someone that their experience getting body shamed is irrelevant and they should just get over it, and telling someone that being body shamed is not oppression. I don't think there are a whole lot of people telling fat people to shut up about being fat shamed, especially off the internet. I think there are significantly more people telling fat people that they are not oppressed for being fat shamed. And I get the distinct feeling this woman would call me fatphobic for saying that. And that is exactly my point.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my new series where I am teaching you about things that are fatphobic that you may not have known are fatphobic. So this is a really simple one, but denying that fatphobia exists is fatphobia. And denying that thin privilege exists is fatphobia as well. And then on top of that, telling fat people to stop making up fake terms, yeah, that's also fatphobia. Because newsflash, a fat person did not even make up the word fatphobia. A thin person did, in academia, over 30 years ago. And same with body privilege and thin privilege. So, educate yourself, and stop telling fat people that these things don't exist, when it's been academically proven that they do. And then maybe once you accept that they exist, then you can start unlearning them. Stay tuned for the next part. I hope you learned something.
Oh, and I was right. She thinks saying fat oppression doesn't exist is, in fact, oppression. First of all, most people won't deny that fat people can be bullied or harassed sometimes, which is what most people consider fat phobia. And that goes to show that most people do think fat phobia exists. They just don't agree with the definition of fat phobia that losing weight and not wanting to be fat is fat phobic. And when people say stop making up terms, they're talking about terms like healthism or sizeism, which are ridiculous and just a way for the fat acceptance movement to try to align themselves with real social movements.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Please give the video a like before you leave. But the whole discussion about calories on menus being fat phobic or offensive or anything like that is so strange. I just can't fathom being that out of touch that you think restaurant menus are a hill that you need to die on. That video, along with the red-haired woman's video, just goes to show that people really just use this movement in whatever ways they find convenient for themselves, and it's really nothing more than that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.